Hello YouTube friends, welcome back to The Last Homely House, or welcome to The Last Homely House if this is your first visit here. I'm Kate and I live in this little cottage in the north of England, in Northumberland, and I love to sew, I love to make things. And you may have seen a few videos ago that I was challenging myself to use my scraps, sewing them together, making fabric in colour families. I will leave a link, in fact we'll probably leave a playlist in the description below, but you'll be able to find this video. It was called Rainbow Scraps or something like that. You'll be able to find this video easily enough if you go back in my catalogue. But what I want to talk to you about today is how far I've got with this, because when we left it with me sewing together scraps, making fabric, doing all of that. But what I want to show you what I've done today is how far I've come and what I've decided to do with those scraps. Because once you've sewn them together and made fabric like I have here, then what do you then do with it? I mean, there's a million things you could do with it. We could then just use it as ordinary fabric and make flying geese or squares or half square triangles or any of those lovely quilt blocks that we like to make. But I decided that I'll keep going with this challenge idea and challenge myself to make something that I've never done before, which is sew curves. I know there are a lot of people out there who make beautiful quilts by sewing curves, but they've always intimidated me a little bit, and thinking that, you know, they were a little bit too tricky to make. But then how hard can it be? So I gave myself the challenge of making some curves, and I have this curve ruler template thing here, which is it's a 6-inch. I think they call this a drunkard's path, I think, and it's the 6-inch template of the curve and the background. And that's what I'm going to do today then, is have a try at sewing curved fabric. How hard can it be? So when I've made my little piece of fabric, my scrappy pink piece of fabric, I'm going to use this ruler to make some quarter circles. So I can just place it wherever I feel like on here, so that I get a really nice mix. That looks about right. And I'm using this little rotating mat because I need to be able to move this around. Let's just move that up there a little so there's more of that on. That works. I need to move the mat around when I do the cutting, so I'm going to cut that there and leave it on. And if you haven't got one of these little rotating mats, I'm sure you could just use a small mat and just move the whole mat. I mean, that's a thing, isn't it? And then there we go. And there's my scrappy quarter circle, and I can get another one out of there as well. And then if there are any scraps left, I can sew them to something else. So I'm loving this scrappy challenge. But then in order to make this fit onto its other curve, I need this part of the template next. I'll see to that in a minute. Cut some more of those. But for now we're going to cut this. And I'm doing these at 5.5 inches. So I'm lining up, I've cut a 5.5 inch strip, I'm lining this up so that will fit there. And then this little rotary cutter blade, rather than this big one, just fits to the curve really well. There's that little bit there that needs doing. There we go. So now I've got those two ready to take them to the sewing machine and do the next part. So I've got my outer and my inner, and you can see clearly on this template that it gives you this line here is my 1/4 inch seam here. So I'm going to be doing that now on the fabric. And all the tutorials I've seen on YouTube, they talk about getting a pin or marking the very middle here, like so, and then the middle of the curve, and I'm just going to finger press that rather than put a pin in, like that. So then we can line those two up really accurately. And then that doesn't look like it's going to work, does it? I think this is why I've been a little bit frightened of curves, but you kind of make it go. You line those two straight edges up there, like so. And then I'm just going to start away a couple of anchoring stitches and then look for my fabric underneath. It's not a speedy thing. And then when we get to the middle, out with the pin, and then tease this top bit round without getting any pleats in it until it lines up beautifully with this edge. And then this bit, I'm guessing, is going to be a bit tricky, because if I've measured correctly, then that edge there should be a straight edge there. And it kind of is. I'm just going to get a pin and pull that out a little bit. There, that's nice. Onto my little thread catcher. Now, it looks like that now. And we're going to press it and see if we can get this to lie flat. It should. Yeah, it's looking okay. Okay, here we go. And what I'm doing is I'm pressing this flat, and so what's folding is this pink. There it is. 1/4. So now I just need to make 4 more. So by the miracle of editing, we now have 3 more. And these are going to fit together like this. And make my circle with my pink outer. So I have an idea for what I might do with this, with all the colours that I've been piecing together, making fabric out of scraps. And I'm going to go ahead with that idea now and see if what I have in my head actually works on my design board. So let's do that now, shall we? Put them up here then in their little circles. I'm kind of thinking of it looks like a planet. I've been calling it a planet in my head. So let's pop these up then. And I have some more planets. In no particular order. This is possibly my favourite colour. This lovely, gorgeous yellow that thinks it's green. colour should we have next? How about that one? No idea really how I want to lay this out, but we'll start with it like this. Because of course they don't have to be in their colour families. I could mix them up, couldn't I? I could go like this with them and put up that one. I don't think I want to do that. I think I want to keep them in their colour families, you know. They feel happier like that. Okay, let's try these next. Wow, they're every colour under the sun, aren't they? I am loving how these have turned out, these scrappy bits in the middle. And I think somehow putting this solid colour around the outside kind of tames it a little bit. Is that the right word? Here's a purple one. Where do you want to go? Oh, orange and purple. Oh, two of my least favourite colours. You can go down there, purple. Do you like orange and purple? Never really been a big fan of those two colours. Just imagine if the lime green sofa had been the bright purple sofa, or the day glow orange sofa. It wouldn't have been as good, would it? Let's see, what have we got next? Oh, look, here's a yellow one. This is going to take me ages. Do you want to pop back later and see how I got on? Talk about it's making it.
Yeah.
Ta-da! Oh my word! Have you got your sunglasses on? Anna's here. We're going to have a chat about it.
Hello.
It's kind of... We need to chat about it. Here it is now.
Thank you very much.
Much more completed.
Yeah.
And not put up in any way that I expect to finish it like this. First thoughts?
I think it's interesting because it's not your usual style at all. And it's not your usual colours.
No.
So when Kate was picking colours like that, and I was like, oh wow.
An orange.
Yeah, the orange was when I came in that day and you were doing orange. I think it'd be for a walk around the lake or something.
Yeah. And I'd started sewing these.
Yeah.
And it was
So
like,
surprised.
what are you thinking? So let's unpick what I am thinking.
Yeah.
First of all, I'm using up scraps, and that was the original purpose of this.
Looks cool.
And I didn't want to just do squares or half square triangle or blocks or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's when I thought, why don't I challenge this myself to master curves? Which I think you can accept that I have actually done.
You certainly have.
Yeah, I'm quite pleased with the curves.
It would make a good children's quilt, I think.
I think so too.
Because it's so fun,
very
isn't it?
bright and very colourful. But I think as well that once we've got the blocks sewn together in there, they'll finish at 10 inches. Mm-hmm. Then we can play with them more easily, replace them, and maybe do some sort of rainbow colour wash if there's enough.
Colour wash is what I was thinking would work well.
starting, you know, Richard of York gained battle in vain, and we could have a go at doing that, couldn't we, across the whole quilt?
Yeah, because there's certain colours in this that are really hard to pair together.
They really are.
Yellow and purple.
Yeah.
As you were putting it on, you were like,
yeah.
oh no.
Yellow and purple. The other thing that I want to do with all these scraps that I'm sorting out is get on as well with Jan and Jane's quilt.
Yeah.
That's another thing that's bubbling away in the background.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been making some blocks for them as well while I've been doing this.
Right.
So yeah, that's what I'm going to say then, is we'll see you in 1 second. But maybe, you got a nice weekend planned?
Yeah.
Yeah, and me too. So I'm going to have my weekend and I'll get back to this on Monday.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Good. Okay, it's only been a second for you, but now I've sewn them all together into their circles, and I trimmed the edges down to a 10-inch square, so it's a 10-inch finished square. And then they look much better when they're pressed, don't they? And I've slung them up on the board like this, and I'm kind of liking the stripe. I wonder if you can see. You probably can. The red one's very distinctive, isn't it? So we go a purple, a blue stripe, then green comes in, then pink, then red, which sadly ends in orange, and then this yellow stripe, which sadly ends in orange, and then purple, green and blue. Now, that arrangement actually pleases me very much, except for this thing, which is pretending to be yellow, and this one, which is pretending to be red. Okay, so Anna's here, so I'm just going to ask her to pop in and have a chat with me about what she thinks about this.
Okay.
Can you finish what you're doing?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay, hop in, Anna.
Okay.
Hello. There she is, look, she's just got a cup of tea. Right.
Mike, can you see? Oh, that's on here.
Let's work out where we're going to be. So Gandalf's over there.
Yeah, it kind of works, doesn't it?
It does work. Okay.
Wow.
Thoughts?
I much prefer it with the colours all in groups
With
like
some
that.
kind of a rhyme or reason to it, rather than just all over the
Yeah,
place.
I didn't like it as much when
No.
it was all mixed in.
Well, it looks better for having been sewn together and pressed and trimmed.
Yeah.
But now we've got this stripe arrangement, which I like very much.
It's one thing, I don't think you're going to like this suggestion.
I think I'm not.
So, I don't like that there's an orange on this line.
This one's pretending to be yellow.
Yeah. And so, could you do that and then make another one to match in?
No.
No, I knew you were going to say that.
Just step back a second and put that red back.
Put that red back.
Okay.
I just don't like that orange
Well,
there.
I think, having looked at it for a few minutes and photographed it and put it into grayscale and all of that, this orange is pretending to be red. I mean, this is pretending to be red, but I think it gets away with it.
I think because of its proximity to these pinks as
and
well.
it's more red than this is, isn't it?
Yeah.
And this orange is pretending to be yellow, and that green is pretending to be yellow.
Yeah, but it gets away with it.
That gets away with it also.
But you could make, if you made another one, you could make it in that limey green, couldn't she? And
So,
then it would like...
having decided I wasn't going to make any more of these and it would have to do, Anna said, what about... And I said, no, I'm not making any more. And then it was like, yes, if I make a yellow one there, or a limey green one, or something that's in keeping with that row.
Yes.
And if I make a red or more red looking one there,
Yeah.
then we have
And
purple.
if you made maybe with this one, so if you had a red here, and then the next one you made was, I mean, a bit like this has got in it red, but with pinks, with a nod to this one, and then had that like there, and then had the reddy pink one there, so matching with that one.
She's a proper little quilt designer now, isn't she? No, but I agree with you. I agree with you, Anna. So
Because I love this bit from like here.
Well,
Shum, shum.
the purple on its own works, and
Yeah.
then the blues, and then the greens come in, and that row of pinks.
I like that it goes back here to the purples and blues at the end.
Yes. So then it goes. Well, we've only got purples in once because I've only got 3 purples, but then the greens come back in, and that one last blue. So I agree. I really do agree. I'm going to replace. I didn't like the oranges anyway, so I'm going to make 2 more blocks. I'm going to make a new yellow and a new in the red family. What?
Hang
on a minute. She's just had another thought.
Because if you're going to make an extra one and you've got 2 of those greens, could you put them in there, make an extra green and put the yellow down there? And then it wouldn't be like lime green kind of pretending to be yellow. It would just be you've got yellows and you've got your 4 greens.
So, okay, I see what you're doing. I see exactly what you're doing. We go green, green.
Yeah, and then you make an extra green, but more of the lime greeny green.
We're quite close to those greens, that's all right. And then the yellows go here.
Yeah.
Hold those offending oranges.
These were the odd ones out, weren't
always.
They? Yeah.
Always.
Always. Poor orange.
Poor orange. So now, so this one gets under the radar as a green now. Mm-hmm. Green, green, green. So I need to make a new green one.
And a new pinky red.
And a new red. A new one that fits into this category. Yeah. A red one.
Yeah.
But
leaning towards pink to match.
But are those pinks and reds too close to each other?
Well, pinks and reds go together though, don't they?
Because now that we've started moving things around, and with the idea that I'm going to make more blocks.
But if you make a lime greeny one, it doesn't matter if you go with the green or the yellow greens, does it? Because you can decide.
Definitely turned her into a quilter, haven't I? I have. But I think we're right that these have no place to play in the front of this quilt.
And no, but what's fun about this though is there'll be orphan blocks. And you can send them out into the world and someone will find them and be like, oh, well.
What? Like get them adopted?
Yeah, exactly.
Or I could just make a scrappy backing and put them in the backing.
Yes.
Or that.
That's true.
They're not going to go to waste, but I don't think they're going to put in an appearance on this quilt.
Yeah,
I like that better already.
Yeah.
So this is pretending to be green, this row now.
Well, I think that is definitely more green than yellow, to my eye. Yeah.
So you will see this finished quilt top in 1 second.
Exciting.
And you've just given me another hour's work to do.
Sorry.
It's all right, I don't mind. I don't mind, that's what the design board's great for.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Cool.
So only 2 yellows. That's fine. That's okay. That's okay.
But you don't have to decide now.
What?
Because this one can pass for yellow or green, can't it?
You'll see a finished quilt top in a moment.
Cool. I like it a lot.
Good. I do too now. Okay, there it is. The quilt top is finished. I made a new red one for this run of red here, and a new green one to tie in with this here, and jettison both the orange ones. And I'm really pleased that I did that, because I think now I like the stripe kind of element to it, and I like it much more now. And every single bit of this is fabric that I already had. And so I've been thinking about how to back this quilt, and I already had this big piece of green from years ago, and so I think that might be the back of the quilt with some hand stitching. But then I might make a scrappy binding out of all the bits and pieces that are left over. I don't know, I haven't thought about the binding yet, but I think I'll back it with that. But that then is my circles quilt. I like how this is almost like sashing, isn't it? This stuff here, but round sashing, and I mastered curves, which I'm really pleased about. So if you've enjoyed that video as much as I've enjoyed making it, then definitely give us a thumbs up. Thanks for watching, and subscribe if you haven't. If you put your notifications on, there's always threads on quilts forevermore. If you put your notifications on, you'll never miss when I post a video. But I do post very regularly to YouTube, every fortnight or every 2 weeks on a Sunday evening. So that has been an absolute joy to make. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time with some more of using up my scraps. See what I get up to. I've got lots and lots of ideas.